breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, good morning. Today is Friday, December 19th, 2025. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you here today. We got some good stuff to get into today, and let's go ahead and dive into some of the macro trends. So the Dow Jones is up 0.14%. NASDAQ is up 1.38%. S&P 500 is up 0.79%, and Bitcoin is down 0.87%, down to $88,059. Today, we're going to talk about and some of the developments with Meta AI. They've got some weird names for their models for sure, having to do with fruits and vegetables. So how about that? We're going to talk about how OpenAI is doing another round of funding to a higher valuation than they've ever done. We're going to talk about how Apple is becoming a debt collector with its new developer agreement, whatever that means. Guess we'll have to find out. ChatGPT launched an app store. What? It's kind of wild. And finally, we're going to talk about how Rivian just rolled out its new universal hands-free feature and the timing of that, especially compared to the recent news surrounding Tesla Autopilot. But before we get into that, make sure to download Byte AI Market Analysis, which is, of course, a iOS app as well as a web app that acts as a financial co-pilot. It aggregates news sentiment as well as technical indicators, so the RSI curve, Bollinger Bands, and MACD and Signal curve. And it gives you a succinct AI-powered recommendation about whether or not you should enter or exit the market. With these little stamps here. So you can see with Amazon, it's underbought right now. It reloads every like half hour to an hour. It's more of a day trading tool. And it tells you why it thought that. It points to its justification, as well as you can look at the news sentiment and click into articles as well. Of course, neither Byte AI nor I are financial advisors, and past success does not guarantee future results. So that being said, let's jump into our first story. The Wall Street Journal exclusive. Meta is developing a new AI image and video model codenamed Mango. Alexander Wang, the company's AI chief, said the new model will debut soon, along with a large language model dubbed Avocado. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting for pineapple. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with these fruit and vegetable names? Okay, so I mean, here's my take on this. So Google has been active in the AI space in the past few weeks. OpenAI has been active with ChatGPT 5.2, as well as the Code Red memo that was sort of internally sent out. And so here's Meta AI, I guess, trying to catch up. We'll have to see how that goes. Of course, they're competing with Google's Nana Banana Pro, that image making tool. Yeah. And I guess wow, that's funny. They independently talked about the Code Red as well as Google's advancements as well. So we're sort of simpatico, me and Megan Brobowski, who's the author of this article. Okay. Next we have this from TechCrunch. OpenAI is reportedly trying to raise $100 billion at $830 billion valuation. The company is aiming to raise the funding by the end of the calendar first quarter next year. And it may ask sovereign wealth funds to invest in the round, the Wall Street Journal reported. The funding would come as OpenAI commits to spend trillions of dollars and strikes deals around the world as the company tries to stay ahead in the race to develop AI technology. Well, there's a lot of people in the race now, including avocado and mango from Meta. So you got to be careful for sure. Yeah, especially with all the equity OpenAI is dishing out left and right. I mean, you look at Disney's $1 billion all stock deal for OpenAI to be able to use Disney characters for Sora. I mean, not a single dollar was transferred in that deal. It was all stock. So where does that valuation come from? Well, it comes from continued next funding rounds. Yeah. Is that IPO coming, by the way? Because I might want to have Byte AI analyze that stock. You know what I'm saying? OpenAI has been rumored to be working on an IPO as a way to raise tens of billions and fund its development efforts, which are currently said to be generating annual run rate revenue of about $20 billion. Yeah. Okay. This is kind of interesting. Apple becomes a debt collector. Apple becomes a debt collector with its new developer agreement. Apple on Wednesday released an updated developer license agreement that gives the company permission to recoup unpaid funds, such as commissions or other fees, by deducting them from in-app purchases and etc. This is kind of funny. Like, can they be repo men as well? Is that what this means? And if so, is the conversation going to be like, so I'm Apple now? Come here, boy. I saw you didn't pay up your Tinder premium for this month. You know what that means? It means we're going to have to repossess that iPhone of yours. Give me that iPhone, boy. Yeah, so let's see how far Apple takes this. Speaking of Apple and app stores, ChatGPT launches an app store, lets developers know it's open for business. So this is, I can't say it's unexpected, because over the few months, I think since the summer, they've really been boosting their, I guess, the integrations that ChatGPT has integrations with Spotify, right? We were talking about that a few weeks ago, last month. Also, just integrated with DoorDash. We talked about that yesterday. So it only makes sense that this has been their direction for the past 6 months, to open a new app store, right? So I guess they're going to compete with Apple. Better pay up those dues, though. Otherwise, Apple comes for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. What are you going to download on there? Rivian rolls out new universal hands-free driving feature. So this was really interesting to me because of the timing of it all. So earlier week, we talked about how last year in 2024, the Biden DOE, Department of Energy, was sort of giving Rivian about $6.5 billion in low interest loans. So they were essentially in bed together. And so clearly Rivian has an affinity to, I try not to get political, but let's just talk about it how it is. Clearly Rivian has an affinity to the Democrats. Well, at the same time, California says that, okay, and we talked about this the other day, says that, oh, well, you know what? the Tesla, the same feature, right? Universal hands-free Rivian, Tesla's autopilot slash full self-driving, you can't sell that anymore, Tesla. Why? Because it allegedly misleads customers. Even though Tesla has said on X that not a single customer said they were confused about autopilot. Autopilot, trademarked, is a fancy name. You can name your product whatever you want, by the way. It's a fancy name for cruise control. Okay. Like Secretary AI. Like somebody asked me, um, that's another one of my companies, by the way. It's basically voice AI for pet clinics, vets. And it's like somebody asked me, oh, well, is it a real secretary? Well, no, no, no. It doesn't have to be a real secretary. I can name it whatever I want. Okay. The name is irrelevant. What value does it bring to the customer? That's what's important. And so it's like, I kind of had to shut that guy down a little bit. And it's like in the same thing here. It's like, oh, California says, well, it's not actually an automatic pilot, whatever that means. You have to stop selling it. Oh, well, at the same time, well, Rivian, you can go ahead. Why don't you just take over that market share with not autopilot, but universal hands-free? Okay. Yeah. Well, there's definitely nothing shady going on here. Okay, cool. So I think that's going to wrap it up, and I think that's going to wrap up the week. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure to make lots of money out there in the markets today, or minimize the losses that you have. Hopefully by using Byte AI market analysis, make sure to download it off the Apple App Store. Maybe soon to come to the ChatGPT App Store. Who knows? And yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day and good weekend. Peace out, guys.